So let me put the context first here into class. Is that very first thing? Uh, because we are on the end of tier 1, the whole purpose was to create this ecosystem of cohort of this backend engineering. Is not that you are only and only aware of how to write code in Node.js. The main purpose behind all of this thing was to be an engineer who can understand everything, that like you can know that okay, what I have to build, what, no matter what is the tech stack. Right now we will be ending the Node.js session, maybe in in next upcoming 2 months, right? We will be covering we will complete our entire cohort. Then you will be sitting and you will be like, okay, I'm done with the Node.js, let's start the Golang. But next time you don't need a course to learn Golang. You just need documentation. You just need that, hey, I can learn this from my own end, I can do this and I can do that, right? I understand the foundation. That is the whole purpose, that is the whole reason to run this cohort, right? So if this would be a scenario for you people, that you guys are understanding that what I'm teaching, not just on the code basis, but able to understand the uh, principles, that would be the thing that I would be like to do. Prajwal is, thank you for teaching us back. Your explanation made complex only easy to and helped us to see how everything works behind the scenes. We are good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm taking this as a screenshot. I just love how people when people give me this. So crazy, crazy, crazy. Cool. So let's get started. What we are going to talk, very first thing, let's understand all of the three uh, jargons that we are talking today. The very first one is cron job. What is cron job? What is webhook? And what is email notification? By words, it's entirely understandable that what is email notification. So let's first talk about what is cron job, right? So here I was making a project on that. For that I had this whole explanation. Cool. We delete this all. Cool. So let's say, what is first thing first? Let's try to understand. Hey Akash, what is cron job? Let me zoom in. Right. Let's say, like not let's say. Try to understand that you have, like if you are going to school, or if you are going to college, or if you are even you are going to your बाहर से बंद कर देना ना, ठीक है? Even if you are going to your schools, even if you are going to your college, right? So you have a time, a scheduled time. Like let's suppose you have to visit your school, or maybe your classes are starting of college, class are starting at 9 a.m. in the morning. What is the first thing you do, right? Like your priority is to be there, present at that particular point of time, to be uh, in the class, right? Cron job is that only. Cron job means that anything that happens, right? Something that will execute at particular point of time. Anything that will execute at that particular point of time. Let me write it out, right? So that it will make more and more sense. So basically this is the description that you have to look into. Okay, a cron job is a code that run at specific time interval without a human triggering. You tell the system run this code every x time and it obeys. So what could be other example of this, right? What could be something that this happens? Let's think of a solution. Like I remember when I was working, I was working on a project. That was a freelance project. So let me give you a glimpse of that. So the project was simple that, hey, I have a software. In the software there is some process, some Excel sheets get uploaded, right? And there is a to and fro of the Excel sheet between the clients, between the customers, between the employees, and between the clients. And the admins can see that, hey, between which employee and which client this communication is happening at every 6 p.m. of when when their time is to get log off. They need a notification that hey, at 6 p.m. every employee should know that what was today's entire day, what they had done, right? How many cron jobs are also like events in Node.js. Yes, it's events in Node.js, but cron job is a very, it's a jargon that is used entirely, right? So at 6 p.m. At every evening 6 p.m. there is an email notification that will shoot, that will tell them that hey, in the entire day you had talked to this people every day at 6 p.m. and that's too on Monday to Friday, not on Saturday Sundays. I don't want to do that on Saturday Sundays, right? So something like that. If there is a scenario at some time, at any point of time, we want that hey, at this point of time I don't want to do this, like I want to get this and this and this, so you have to do it. You can set it in the cron job. So this is what cron job is. Technically you tell the system run this code every x time, and by the x time it can be a scenario where you are saying to him or saying to the code that hey, after every 5 minutes you have to run this process. Hey, at every 10 minutes or maybe at every 3 p.m. of the day you have to run this. This is what a scenario means, the cron job. This is how you can write it in the set interval process. But right now we use some packages with what we call cron jobs. For the cron jobs we have packages, right? So let's write some of the code. But before that, let's come to the notes once, and let me give you something where it is node cron. We are using the package. There is, yep. So here is where I had given the timing, times. Yep, this is the time. This is what you have to remember. I will explain you as well this. So let's write this, right? Let me start my Visual Studio Code for now. So let's write this a very small program that we will be writing, right? This is not something that like you will be using, but we want to write it, and by when I'm writing you can do the same thing, right? So basically I will give you glimpses that how you have to write, and then we will cover a little bit of our project. If we can cover howsoever we will cover, we will try to cover it, and rest of the part will be in your assignment that you have to build. So this is how you will learn by your own self that how I can write my own project, how I can write my end code basis, right? So let me come to the folders, and if you remember, I will start the terminal first. What we do for creating a backend folders, of course we do npm init, and I'm a psychopath. I will put -y so that I can just get the package file. I don't give a shit about other things, right? So I got the package.json. Okay, let me keep it simple. I'm not going to work like in the past 3-4 days. 3-4 week we had discussed a lot about clean code. Cool, great, but right now let's focus on the things that we have to do today, so that we cover a lot of the topics and we learn something today, right? So I will do node cron npmi node cron. Cool. So I got the node module. Let me create a something called cron.js. So now I will just do one very small thing, very simple thing. Very first thing I will call cron, not cron equals to required node cron, right? Now I will schedule a simple task for myself, that console.log. Very first thing I will figure this, that hey, cron started, right? Now I will schedule something, cron dot schedule. This is a function, cron dot schedule, for scheduling the call. Now I will do this, and okay, very first question would be from your end that hey Akash, how you know that there is a cron dot schedule? How you know this if I don't have AI or something like that? Very simple thing you have to do. Very simple thing. You just have to go to the npm.js. Okay, yeah, here it is. Right. Very first thing I will do, I will go to npm.js, right? And here I will just search for the node cron. Cool. Choose search. So here's node cron. So in the node cron, you can see there is basically there is a documentation, like there is a schedule, right? This is how they had put it this in understanding that hey, this is second, the star here represents second, the star here represent minutes, and this is for hour, this is day of month, and day of week, right? So allowed value is also written. Is there any way to learn more about this? Of course there is a more way, right? There is a home page like this, which is a git repo. In this there would be must be a documentation part, the same thing that was written there, right? So we have this only, like cron dot schedule. So I will write it cron dot schedule, and in this, being a very good child, I will do, I will put this, because I'm using curly braces, star, and I am putting 5 seconds. I'm talking about hey, after every 5 seconds, and I will put this. I don't care, I don't want to do anything about it. So what I had done, I had put it empty by putting it in star format. And here, and I will do one thing only, console.log task executed every 5 seconds. For making it more intrusive, what I will do, I will also print the time, right? It would make more sense. So I will do new date, and in this I will just put IO to IO string to IO to ISO string, right? Simple, that's it. And now I will do one thing only, node, okay, node cron .js, cron started, okay, task executed, you can see the time here, task executed every 5 seconds. So after every 5 seconds it will execute a task, right? So problem here, there is no problem, by the way, this is how you will write it. But now let's talk about something that what we are doing in our entire cohort. This is how you will write a simple cron job, that's it. Like here in the cron dot schedule you will execute a logic, that simple, that we will talk about it. But let's try to understand that hey, okay Akash, I understood that I have to write a cron job, cool, that's great, but do I have to write it every single time? Okay, so I will talk about something where cron fails, right? And why people like companies use something similar to this. So I will put out something different, and I will put here, and here what I will do, I will keep it here like this. So very first thing, the very first question, where cron fails. So technically cron fails, uh, so self-hosted cron dies if server crashes. Like you had written this in your server end, right? And someday at some point of time, your server crashes, right? Your cron job will also crash. Very self-explanatory. Deployment restarts node, host scales down. So technically these are the scenarios where let's suppose deployment, you push it something, right? When we schedule it for 5 seconds, then is it non-blocking or Does it block the execution? No, it's not. It doesn't block any execution. It's keep it running always. So basically your host scales down. And by the way, is it a feasible, like what I do when I write cron jobs? Basically, I don't have a lot of users. Let's suppose there is 1,000, 10,000 of users. Then I will like to write a cron job where this is a B2B, like there is something like D2C, direct to client apps, where what is a possibility is that, hey, you have millions of users and you had pushed something in your deployment at that point of time. Let's suppose for even 2 or 3 seconds your server down, get stop responding. In 2 to 3 seconds there is a chance that there would be a cron job that is replicating, and there would be like lakhs of messages. There could be lakhs of messages which is going to send, which is going to get sent. Okay, understood. That's great. But now, Akash, for two in that 2 to 3 seconds, if 1 lakh execution got neglected, 1 lakh notification or 1 lakh tasks or executes the jobs hadn't executed, and it's a problem. That's why companies use AWS Event Bridge, Cloudflare Workers Cron, and Kubernetes Cron jobs. So technically, what how it looks, basically this is a server. In current scenario, your cron job sits under your server. Right, let's say this is a cron job of yours. This sits in your server. So if something happens in your server, if anything happens in your server, your cron job will get also affected. If your server dies, your cron job will also die. Okay, now what happens if we put it in some any service, it's AWS Event Cloudflare Workers Cron or Kubernetes Cron job. If we put anything in this, like this is a external service that we are using, so even your server dies, and this is something related to your database, right? Your cron job executes something in your database at every particular point of time. Even if your server dies, your cron job will keep doing his or her work, right? I will be very feminist. So even whenever your cron job do anything at that particular time or period of time, if your servers even die, it will execute its work. So right now, if your cron job isn't inside your server, what we are doing right now, we are putting the code in the server, right? We are writing a cron job in the server itself. What we are doing right now. Still, if your server dies, your cron job will also die at that point of time. Does this make sense to you people? Does this make sense to you people? Cool. So now the question lies, Akash, if something like this going to happen, why you are teaching us this? The very first thing I will tell you, I will give you a very good explanation. Okay, but if we create a new server or just crons, so you are saying that, let's say you had done one thing. This is your server for all of your stuff, right? Okay, Manat, I will be connecting with you after the class to make you understand that concept that you want to understand. Cool. Okay, for now, let's focus on this. Now, Mukul have a very valid point here. Mukul is saying, okay, but if we create a new server for just crons, so there is a cron which is running, right? Sorry, one of the server is working, and then what happens? There is a cron. You have a very separate server for the cron job to execute. Is it valid? Of course it's valid. You can do it. But what is the downfall, or what is the fallback system? Like, not fallback system. What is the problem here? The problem here is your costing. Very first thing, why it's going to cost me. So if like I'm not going very deep. There are different services. Like I choose AWS for now. AWS have something called EC2. Oh, very interesting topic. Thank you, Mukul. Can we solve this problem with message queue? We'll talk about it as well, Samrat. But for now, let's say we have AWS, and now where we were? Ah, yeah. Sorry, my bad. So we have something called EC2, right? We have something like EC2. Now, the thing here that hey Akash, so basically you are saying that we had created two different servers. So your server, either what here you have two different EC2 machines for now. For example, I am putting that in this conversation because if your servers dies in EC2, there is a chance that EC2 have died, right, as well, somewhere like EC2 has crashed or something like that. Although it's a very it's not something will going to happen because AWS have a better EC2 which auto scales and a lot of things. But for now, let's talk about this in a ideal situation. Just give me a minute. My bad, I got a call. So now basically there is a scenario where I host it on VPS, right? So let's talk about in that scenario, not talk about EC2. Let's talk. Okay, the problem here, many people won't understand VP. So basically you have two EC2 machines for holding your servers. Now every time you have this, you are paying 2x money, because every EC2, like every EC2, if they are alive, even they are not responding, they cost you something at every single hour, right? Something like the pricing in India. In India we pay like something around 50-60 rupees per hour, I remember, something like that. So in AC2 you pay for two machines. Now your cron job is very simple. Your cron job is not every single time is going to like कि फट ही जाएगा, or it's a very massive thing that is happening, right? It's going to be very simple. So why to pay twice of your value? Even this EC2 dies, your point is valid. The very first problem is that I will end up paying for two EC2 machines, which is not required at this point of time. Second problem, let's say you have multiple EC2. There is a scenario as well where you have to host multiple systems. You have to host multiple uh, servers, multiple machines, right? Then also it's then what you will do, you will put it into something like Kubernetes or something like that, right, to orchestrate everything. Still, it's going to a little difficult to handle this individually, your cron job machines, right? So what is the first problem? The first problem here, that hey, I have to end up paying twice. I have to end up paying extra for the machines. Second, it would be a little difficult to manage this as well. Like it will be difficult to manage that as well. Your point is pretty valid. Can I do it in this way? If I have a good team, I can do it. How companies do this without relying on this? Let's suppose I don't want to rely on these services. Okay, very first question. Let's address one thing in the room. That very first thing, that why companies relies on this. Very first thing is, we don't have to do a lot of things from our end. We don't have to manage it. We don't have to pay so much of money. Like in compared to EC2 monthly billing, these services are cheaper than that. Okay, I don't have a lot of machines which I have to allow, and this service are auto scalable. Although EC2 is also auto scalable, it's not something like it. If you have this, if you had set up the EC2 machines in the correct way, it will auto scale as per your user convenience still, right? So this is why companies do that. But what Mukul has asked me, that hey, what happens if we do this? Companies do that, we call it microservices. When we get into the microservices concept, there are services which only designed to do cron jobs. But given that the company is bigger, the company have a lot of employees, microservices is not something that 2 or 3 engineers will just start deploying it from tomorrow, that hey, we will doing it microservices. No, it doesn't happen in that way. When your team is very compact, when your team is very small, like if you're in a startup where only 4 engineers are there, you don't try to practice this. Right now it's look a very small thing, that hey, I just have to write 5 to 10 cron jobs. But there could be a scenario there are 100 of cron jobs, so that could be an issue as well. So now, does this explanation make sense? Cool. Is the answer is satisfactory at this point of time? Chalo. Yeah, can say it is relatable that why company would pay twice just for the Cron share. Exactly. By the way, Mukul, you are right at your point. If you have more, if you work in microservices way, then you can do that as well. But no, when we are a very small team, like where we are the team of like 4 or 5 people only in the company, then I use this. Although I still write cron jobs by myself. So yeah, that would be the case. But now, so are we done with the cron jobs? Yes, we had put it like I understood what is cron job. Let's come back to the notes. Let me try to tell you something more. So you had saw that, hey, this is for seconds, this is for minutes, this is for, so I had put it, if I write something like this, it means that, hey, this is for day of week. If you put something, this is for second, this is for minutes, this is for hours, this is for day of the month, this is for month, and this is for day of the week, right? So this is how you put the value. So you can see there is a common cron pattern that you can see every 5 minutes, like if you write like this, every hour, daily at 9 a.m. This is how you write it, right? You can keep this as a reference. Every Monday at 9 a.m. and first day of month at midnight, and every Saturday, Sunday, something like this. These are examples. These are the things that you can see. Look, cron expression examples. Every minute, every 15 minutes, 0 hours at a time, every day at 2:30, every Monday at 9 a.m., every day of every month, every weekday, and every 30 seconds. No, technically you can see there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 6. The sixth one. If there is 6 stars, if there is 6 stars, you see that, count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is a 6 star. So this is for when you do it, this is 30 seconds. But when it's minute, I am putting only 5 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I put like this, it's every 15 minutes. So if I want to put something like at every Monday at 9 a.m., I will just do 0, 9. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I put 0, 9, star, star, and 1. That's for Monday. Like this. So this is a pattern. You can just look like this. There is method 1 via code. So there is one more code you can look. So there is cron service. Let's suppose I had written a cron service, and in the cron service you will see cron service dot schedule job, backup job, and async console.log, and time zone. You can put time zone as well. Like this is for your computer to understand at what time zone you want to put it, right? So yeah. So we understood cron jobs. Okay, let's get further. Let's get further. Let's come back to the. Let's try to understand now what is webhook. Right. So webhook is a terminology, by the way. If I be very honest, this is a very small thing that someone do, and webhook is just a terminology that I want you to understand. Let's say, and this is a example. This is something that you can understand. Uh, this is what you can understand as a terminology or as a concept, right? The code always differ for this. The code is always some logic that you write, right? So basically, what is webhook? Let's talk about it. It's very simple thing. Uh, Webhook is nothing. It's something like some event has happened. Some event has happened, right? And the event is replicated to a server. I will talk about for what an example I will talk about event, and there would be server, and that server then if this event is successful, then server is supposed to provide or send a response. Send a response, right? So Akash, what do you mean by this? I didn't understood this, right? Webhook is nothing. You can call webhook as reverse API call. Now focus on this. Let's focus on reverse API call. What is reverse API call is? What is reverse API call? So let's say uh, let me give you an example that hey, you had confirmed, like you have bought this cohort, right? You have bought this cohort. So when you bought a cohort by on Razorpay, you had paid it, right? As you completed the payment, what happened with you? Did you guys received any? Did you guys received any email out of it? Right. That is webhook. So what is the event here? You received an email when you completed your payment, right? This is a webhook. That's what we call webhook. Nothing like something like this. Something like this has happened, that payment successful. This message is from this message is on the Razorpay, right? Payment successful, and this message has sent to server. I will give you a very small example as well by writing it. Payment successful, and it's went to server. When the server saw that hey, payment is successful, what is done? The response is nothing, sending an email to the customer. Whosoever has bought it, send them an email. That's it. So what happened? In usual webhook is nothing. Webhook do something which calls another API when it receives something from another API. This is an API which has happened. The payment has successful. One API. This is an API that has sent a response. That response went to server, and then this server send an email, because if the payment is successful, hey, send it to the user that the payment is successful, so that he or she can know that hey, he or she has completed the purchase thing, the purchase flow. And this is all webhook. This is just a jargon which feels a little extra complicated, but this is all what it do. Let me write a like example code, right? I can't write exactly a code, but how it usually look like. So I will write webhook.js. Let's say webhook.js, and for this I need npmi express. So I write const express. I hope it's visible. Const express equals to require express, and then const app equals to express. App dot use, and I will call express dot json, and then app dot post, and I will say webhook. There's a response something like this, right? We are writing like this: request slash response, and I will write a code in this. For this, console.log received, webhook received at iOS new date iOS string, and I will say response dot status webhook received. It doesn't do, it's not going to do anything out of it, right? It's very simple that app dot listen 3000 console dot log, right? Webhooks listening that. So we had given everything. Does we given everything? Does we given everything? Okay. Okay. Let's do one thing. Instead of this, let's call it request dot body. This const, okay. Node webhook dot js. So what I had done wrong? Oh, my bad. Node webhook dot js. Oh, no. Cool. It's running. So let's say there is some package, there is some code, right? And in that code, I'm not going to do a lot of things. There is a logic which says that hey, if something has completed, execute this API. Simple. There is some logic that was like, hey, I have done this. Let's execute that call for now. So I will do one thing, just a simple thing. I will do one. My laptop is lacking a lot as usual. HTTP localhost 3000, and I will call it webhook. And let's get into the body and let's get into raw. And what I will say that hey, this is a test, right? So I will call it test. And we call it 1 2 3 4, right? Just send it. 404 not found. क्या किया मैंने गलत? 3000 पे है, 3000 पे है. Localhost webhook. Oh my bad, get नहीं है, post है. Sent. Webhook received. I got a response that hey, webhook is received, but here you are receiving this message as well, right? Nothing is happening. This is a very simple way of doing some. You will write a logic, and in that logic you mention another API like server to server talk. Can call it, can say that server to server. It's a communication between APIs to API. That would be more valid term. I feel that this is just an API calling another API, right? So that's all you have to understand. Like server to server call is something else. This is post back. That is post back call. So right now webhook is this server to server API to API call. An API calling another API. That's it. That would be the simplest term that we can call, right? So are we done with webhook, right? We are done with the webhook. Okay, understood. Let's now write the most interesting part. That would be how to write an email send. How I will send an email. Email sender .js. I just want to send some email notification. That's it. That's the whole thing. And for sending an email notification, you just need one thing, that is SMTP. You just need to settle this. That's it, man. You can use other services like Monkey, Mail Monkey, and different type of services. You can do that, but that you at that point of time you have to pay for that. I don't want to pay for this, Akash. I'm hell of an engineer. I want to do it by myself. This is an ego that is speaking right now. This is what happens when I write code in my company as well right now. My ego speaks every single day that hey, how I want to make sure that my company, the app or the backend, whatever I'm writing, it depends on the least number of external services. Can I settle SMTP? Yes, I can do it, man. I had done this for our LMS system as well, like the SMTP. So basically, what is SMTP? SMTP, let me just Google it right for you so that I can make you understand, and then we will write a simple code for that SMTP, and then we'll take a 5-10 minutes break, and then we will write. We will try to write a project out of it, right? SMTP. So let me try to explain you. So this is what SMTP full form is. Simple Mail Transfer Protocol is an internet standard communication protocol transmitting blah 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 blah. So technically, you just need to settle a SMTP in your server, and it will send the messages, right? There is SMTP for sending and receiving the messages. The POP is only for sending the messages. You don't receive any message when you settle a POP. So that's why we just settle SMTP. Let's try to settle it, right? Let me try to write a logic. For this, I just need a package. A little. I can use a package like simple node mailer, npmi node mailer. So now I had installed node mailer. I have its email sender.js. Let me write a code for you. Simply we will call const node mailer equals to required node mailer. Simple async function, and we will call send email. So there is 3 arguments we need. We don't need actually anything, so let's keep it till here. Let me remove it. You can do it when you want to call it like a function. We can do that, but we will be doing in a project. For now, let's do this like this, and let's call the service. We will call a service because we are using node mailer. I will just use service. Currently I am a user of Gmail. For example, I want to use my Gmail, right? I will just send Gmail, and in this I will call auth and user. In the user you can put your email address, right? You can put your email address. So let me give you an example of your email. That would be something like I have an email of Akash Dev and something like Akash Amod Rajput at gmail.com, right? gmail.com. And although the best way of doing it is actually giving, I will tell you, you don't use the exact password of your email of your Gmail. Technically I will let me explain you how you will do it, but for now auth, right? You had auth. Why it's showing me a problem here? Gmail. Oh, okay, I had forgotten something to write actually. That is this all thing actually come under const. We will call it transporter. Technically because this is transporting our mail, right? Transporter and node mailer, and this is just a service what we call create transport. In this we just put our objects and we'll close it. That's it. That's all we have to do. Now what I had done wrong here, service no create, this is okay, this is where I have done. Yeah, good, done. You just create a service node mailer.create transport, and in this you just put your auth services. Let's say I want to send a mail, const mail, and I will just say from is no one other than Akash. So the email that you are using here, the user, right? This is the same email that I'm putting here. you can do that. Otherwise, the best way of doing it, it's not something you do it here. You create a .env file and you put your email addresses and something like that. I had taught you, right? But for now, for just understanding the purpose, for understanding how it's going to work, we are writing it. But please make sure that every time you do it in the env file, right? And to anyone you want to send email, right? Some anyone, like I want to send another email to my self only. So let's do it. Subject. So in the subject, I will say I learned SMTP connection. I learned sending email. Right. And then you have to put your text here. Hello, this is my anything you want to. This is your body technically. And then in the const mail, when the const mail is done, you know what I am doing right wrong. This whole thing will come under this, and this is a assign function, right? So let's write await here, and I want to say await transporter this is the transporter, right? This function that we had used, transporter dot send mail. This is a function, and in this function I will just put mail, right? Because I want to send this, right? I want to execute this only, send mail, that's it. And then if something happens, then console.log send mail dot catch dot console dot error. So this is the code, right? So let me give you one thing. Let me put this in your. I have a question. Are webhook different than API call? Like example. Okay. So let's get back. I will get back to your question, Mukul. Keep it here. I will, because I started doing this, then it will change the context here. Right. So here, what I am doing, I am trying to put this. I am putting this, and what you have to do in the for the password, right? This is the code that I had written here. There is a something called password, and the password is not something you can do it like this only. So I will do one thing for now. Let's say I will share my screen. Okay, what you have to do, you just come to the nodes, and in the nodes days password. Okay, you have to. So in this SMTP configuration for popular provider, where I am talking about Gmail here. So for the Gmail, what you have to do, you have to go to Google app password. This is a lot, because I know a lot of us using Gmail, right? So when you do it, you will open. Let me know. Don't do it. Let me don't do it, because it's something that I don't want to public. And then you will go to generate an app password for mail and use the 16 character password in SMTP. So technically what happens when you open this now, let me try to show you. Let's do it right. Let me change my email so that it doesn't let's say demo Akash. Let's come to this email. So as you come, they will ask some question like app name. So let's say whatever app name you want to give, mail, and when you create, you will get this 16 digit password. Although I'm using it from a different email, I had logged in with a different email, but you have to just put this in your password field. So now what you have to do here, that in this, in 2, you just put my email, and here put your subject in text, and then run this project, right? This is a little small assignment you have to do it right now in this class, and you have to send it to me. So what will happen, I will understand that you are able to write this code, although I had written the code. Then this Notion link, okay, let me provide you the Notion link. So till then, do it and send me. I will be looking forward. Like you have 5 minutes to do this. I am pausing my recording so that the students who are watching it from recording, they don't waste their time. Okay, guys, let's get started. And by this, we are going to start with our espresso. Like, let me talk about this thing. Uh, Oh, I got an email from Mukul saying, "Great work, Mukul. Nice. I received crazy. Someone has learned this. That's great. That's great." पराग भेज दिया तुझे तुझे Okay, crazy. Let's get started now. Let me close this. So basically, this is the code base if you want to refer. No, this is not the code base. My bad. The code base I had sent is here. Wait. Acha, I didn't send. Yeah, the code base. So this is the project that I had already written for you people. Let me open this. So now let's get started. Let me create another new folder for this. Let's call it anything like what project we can call node mail Cron project. Let's call it Cron project. Let's go by the nodes that we have. So in this, the architecture is this, that Express JavaScript have three different services. The one service is cron service, another one is mail service, and the third one is webhook route. So the cron service is just using node cron, the mail service is using node mailer, and webhook route is using express router, right? Design pattern, very first thing. What there is something called singleton pattern. What singleton pattern is? Singleton pattern. Let me give you, let's not talk about it in this class. I had put it this basically singleton pattern is a system design, it's a way of writing a code. So let me show you an example of the code here. The code the code should be here. Okay, there is no code here, so let's come to this. If you open a services from here, this code file, if you come to services, and if you come to Cron services, like technically any service you come, you will see one thing, there is a class file, and if I close it, the whole code base get disappear, like it's an example, right? So here what happens, there is only a single class file where I have constructor, and I write all the functions here. You can see I have this for scheduler job, this is a logic for scheduler job, this is a logic for stop job, this is a logic for get all the jobs, this is a singleton pattern. The reason behind writing a singleton pattern, the code is written in singleton pattern because it's easier to navigate, it's easier to manage as well, right? This is what singleton pattern is. It's just a single point of, there is only a single point of thing where you have to write a code. We are doing it from last previous few classes, but I thought let's discuss that. So let's get started. The architecture I had described, this is a code base, and let's write something out of it, right? Let me open the folder. We'll try to write the code as much as possible in 20 minutes, right, in 20-25 minutes, and then the rest is yours. You have to submit it in your assignment. Let's do it. npm init -y. Cool. Let's write it down. Right, very first thing I will do is writing index.js as usual. Let's not use this, but for now let's create services. In the services I need two services technically. One is mail service .js and another one is Cron service .js. Right, we have two, so these two services. So let's write the mail service. So as we are talking about singleton pattern, so let's just keep it till here, where I'm just want to write what I need first. What I need, because I'm writing mail service, Heisenberg name. Say hi to Heisenberg, guys, everyone. Chalo, npm I node miller, and I will use .env. Okay, so for this the .env file is here. You can see, you can just keep it. I am not going to fill all of this thing. You can use it as per your convenience, because it would be a little difficult for me to write this thing down here, right? .env, and I will put it here. Although, yeah, here we are, npmi.env, and .env we have. So let's do this fatapat. Const node miller, I will have node miller equals to required node miller, and then we are going to require .env.config, right? Thank you to AI, it just completes my code fatapat. Now let's talk about singleton pattern. Class mail service, and then I will create a constructor. Constructor looks like this, and I will just keep it simple. This dot transport porter Okay, Prajwal has sent me hello captain. Hello Prajwal. This dot transporter equals to null, and this dot initialize transporter. This dot initialize. Okay, so I have these functions here. So now let's talk about other things. So what is initialize transporter? Akash, why you had written this, man? Why we need it? So you need it because we will write it as a function. Let me call it initialize transporter. In this we are going to write the logic. The logic is this. We will first write try catch. Right. Let's not keep catch. Let's keep it only try for now. So in the try, okay, let's call this dot transporter, and this dot transporter you have to remember it from the previous section we had talked about, right? Equals to, and I will just call node miller dot create transport, and in the create transport, simple, I will create host host could be mail host, otherwise it could be something, you can write it like this. Actually this is two pipes and I'm not able to type it, so I will use virtual keyboard, and yeah, this is good. And I will, because I believe you guys gonna use your SMTP Gmail, smtp.gmail.com, right? So you can use it for the Gmail in case. And there would be a port. The port could be this mail port, it's in the .env, you have to put it right, SMTP port 587 or whatever you have put it. Secure, we are not going to keep it secure, false. And then the auth service that we had already written, the same as you last one, and the pass. Simple. Done. Right. Cool. So this is your initialize transporter. So technically we have written a logic to initialize a transporter. Can I do something else? So basically I want to send and disclose what? Disclose this, then disclose what? Nothing. Oh, अच्छा mail service, cool. तो ठीक है, we have to keep it till here. तो basically हमें जो भी logic लिखना है ना, every logic that we have to write is an initialize transport, right? So now that's it, that all I have to do. So initialize transport, because we have written this.initialize transport and you are not seeing any other function out of it. So in general we have started this transporter dot equals to null, because we had put it the transporter का जो भी detail, every detail of the transporter is here, right? So now we can write other logics. The other logic could be other other logic could be verify connection. You can write it verify connection, but right now I'm not going to do it. But for in the code base, let's come to the code base. If you come to mail service, you will see one thing, there is a verify connection logic written, right? So I will leave it for rest. I will write async send email, and I will give options, right? The options that I want to do. This is a parameter, and in this const, what are the arguments that we were giving? What are the arguments we give while sending email? To subject, right? These are the things, like you put to, you put subject, you put text, you put HTML, could be body or something like that. You can design body to HTML, and here I will call it options. These are the arguments that I'm talking about. Async. Right, these are the options that I'm talking about. So now if this is not this dot transporter, then I will just send some message that console dot error mail transporter is not initialized, in case it's not there, right? There is something I'm doing wrong, right? And there is something I'm doing wrong, because it's showing async as in red block, and I don't want to do it. This is not I am looking for, right? This is not what I am looking for. Okay, my bad. So I have to just get this and this x. Let me write it. Okay, verify connection भी यहाँ पे नहीं आएगा. Verify connection wouldn't be here. I have to first put it here. Will it work? Yeah. Now it's better because the sync is written. So I have used initialize transport here, and then my rest of the code, async send email, would be written here. So let's try the code. Const mail options equals to, and in this I will just do one from This is, I have told you, right? Process mail user, and then there would be 2, and the 2 is going to 2. The 2 is there, subject to subject, text to text, and HTML to HTML. That's it. That's all we have to do. And here uh, we have defined this, and this is our this school. So now, because we have given the const mail options, that these are the mail options that I have to give. Now I will write the logic try and catch wala, the try catch method that we are talking about. Catch arrow, right? I will write it later on. Let's try it. Let's focus. Const info, let's call it info equals to await this dot transporter dot send mail, and send mail is nothing but have mail option. Yeah, send email. Guys, okay, this is send email. Okay, transporter dot send mail. The send mail is a function that is in the transport itself. So send mail, and then if you want to console, you can just email sent. If you want a console, right? And then you can just return that, hey, this got successfully executed. Success through info. And for the catch, console dot error, and I will just keep it till here, email, and I will call return. There is nothing to return, by the way. Let's keep it catch error console dot error, and here we are done and done. Let's call it throw error. Let's say throw error. Here we had written one option of async send email, right? And this is the entire. I want to just keep it till here. Cool. What other things that I can write? Something like async. Okay, after this I can just write async send notification email, right? Async send notification email. You can write it same logic. The logic is written here. Send notification email is here, right? You can use this. So I will keep it clear from here. Let's not talk about this. Let's write a cron service here. So I will, let's make it more faster. Cron service में आते हैं. We are using this package node cron, and in this we are going to use mail service, because this is a good practice to actually synchronize the sending email into cron job, that I want to send email at some particular point of time. So const cron, you are using node cron, and mail service, you have this service, right? And here the same thing, class cron service, and in the constructor you are just giving this dot job. So you have one function schedule job, and there is stop job, right? And start job, and get jobs for getting all the jobs, and stop all jobs. So let's talk about schedule job. Here you go, what to do, you are trying to get all the jobs. This is what it's this is what only this what console, right? Await task, and in the console.log you are consoling technically what is the task that has completed, right? And yep, this if options and error notification. So this is for just for the error notification, right? This job does push, so technically we are pushing it into the array. This is the array that we are talking about. So this is going to push name, job, schedule, and console.log. Simple. Let's come to start job. Let's not focus on stop job first. Start job entry, this job dot find j dot name and equals to name. If job entry dot job dot start, and this is what all happening. Simple. So technically I have written a logic of scheduling a job where you are giving name, schedule, and task and options, right? So here you are defining cron.schedule. You remember the schedule function, right? Schedule, and in the async you are just logging that, hey, at what time you are scheduling the function. How I can see where I am using this? This is one time thing. When you write it down, you reuse it. So if I comes example job.js, so you will see that I'm set up daily report job. Let's suppose there is a function I'm talking about, set up daily report job, schedule job. So let me open bipolar way of doing this. So here you will see what is the first thing you do. Name, the name is daily report. schedule. The schedule is written this every day at 9 a.m. right? The task, so the task logic is this, and there is no options by the way. So options is nothing, and there you have settled the time zone, that at what time zone you can keep it India by the way, India, Asia. Notify on error, true, notification email. So this is how you have written the schedule job. Otherwise, start job is not is something that is coming through your this is coming just through your APIs by the way. So you are writing this as an API. So use this code base. We had understood a little bit about how this code bases look like. So you write all the cron logic here and the mail logic in this, and in the routes, let's come to the routes. So this is written in the webhook way. So this is webhook where basically something comes and then something is gone, right? So you can look into this, the same logic that I had explained in the webhook section. And here are the some example jobs that you have to do. So just try to understand this code base, right? Try to write it out by your own self. You will learn more by actually trying to understand this. Otherwise, if you have any doubt, the TAs are there on the Discord. You can ask them, or even if I got the chance, I will look into this. Did you create it in a workspace on GitHub? Like how did that VS Code open in browser? You just have to, like, let's suppose you come to this anyway, like I'm in the repo, right? And any repo in the GitHub you come, you just have to press the full stop button, that you have. हाँ पराग, पनीर के ले लेना वो, अगर स्टीम हो तो वो, वरना कौन फ्राइड वाले ले लेना. Yes. Okay. So technically, when you are on this code base, you just have to press where in your keyword wherever there is a full stop button, you just have to press, and this will initiate, right? So for now, let's come to the Q&A section. Let me end the class recording here, and let's see what are your questions. Cool.